Greetings, this is Elizabeth Shermer with an intuitive reading from the Grids of Light on Friday, March 28th. Today's reading is in anticipation of Sunday's new moon, which occurs at 11:45 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That's Sunday, March 30th, and releases on Sunday a new wave of manifesting energy and potential that will be available to us throughout the coming month. Before I dive into the reading, I want to say a little bit about the unique aspects of the last 2 weeks leading up to Sunday's new moon. 2 weeks ago, we had a full moon, and then 4 days later, I think that was on March 16th, 4 days later, the sun moved to the midpoint between winter and summer solstice, which we call spring equinox, and the zodiac sign of Aries. The month of Aries was initiated. So what that means is that in the 4 days into the 2-week period of the waning moon, which is the release of energy, letting go of what no longer serves us, during the period of the waning moon, we stepped into the strongest birth of new energy of the entire year. The initiation of a new 12-month cycle of growth brought with the energy of Aries, strong, courageous, creative energy of Aries. And so for the last several days, we've been in this really kind of disconcerting and unusual push-pull, not conflict, but play between the two forces of the waning moon and the expansive energy of the spring. So if you've been feeling a little bit disconcerted by having waves of fatigue and incredible sleepiness, which I have balanced by waves of energy and excitement and eagerness, that's what's been going on, is we're integrating in opposite ways to prepare for this wave of new birth that will be released on Sunday. So with that in mind, I threw a tarot spread asking for clarity for all of us on the opportunities, the planetary opportunities available in this coming month, in this incredible, exciting spring of new birth, new life, new potentials, and how we can take advantage of them. So the first card all the way to the right, I'm really excited to share this reading with you today. The first card all the way to the right, to the left, in the position of body, is the Ace of Discs, the literal expression of new birth, and new birth in the physical world. In the position of body, this represents the potential for manifestation of all forms of health, well-being, and creations in all aspects of your life. The new energy isn't formed yet. It's a release of pure potential. And then in the center, in the position of awareness, a second ace. If you know the deck, you know there are 4 aces. To receive 2 in a 4-card spread is a pretty big synchronicity and definitely signifies a new beginning and a declaration of those potentials. And so in the position of awareness, or the mind, the Ace of Cups signifies the emotional fulfillment, happiness, beauty, pleasure, an emotional kind of abundance and fertility. And so the opportunity in the coming days for you to access appreciation and love and bliss in the realm of your emotions and your awareness. This is the birth of feminine energy. The cup can represent the Holy Grail and the attainment of heart's desire. So there's an opportunity here in the coming days to access, through the eagerness of new birth, also the birth of new emotional fulfillment and love and joy. Then all the way to the position of spirit, to the right here, is the Seven of Swords, futility, which is very obviously a really strong contrast to the other 2 cards, which are cards of birth of potential. And then here comes the Seven of Swords, futility. So let me say first that there's much similarity here on second look. And the first is that the Seven of Swords in this deck holds the message of the Ace of Swords. So in a sense, I'm seeing three aces here. The central large sword represents the gift of inspiration and the knowledge of new potential, the vitality that comes with inspired mind and the inspired gift of new possibility. So this card holds, even though it's called futility, as a 7, it holds the potential for transformation, the potential for success. And what it represents is a tendency for self-sabotage in the mind when we encounter the possibility of transformation. Because transformation comes to the mind and to the emotions before it actually appears in physical form, most often. And so it can be hard to trust and not fall into sabotaging patterns of self-doubt based on perhaps past experiences. So this card, the word futility, represents self-sabotaging patterns that hold us back from firmly grasping that central sword of success and confidence and trust. So in the position of spirit, this is a symbol and a message of support, that there's support for us right now in whatever our own self-sabotaging patterns are, to hold firm to the trust of success in all aspects of our life, all aspects of your life. So seeing this clear message, I asked for an additional card. There are actually 2 cards today. The first is the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man in this case is representing, as I meditated on this card and then even did a little bit of research in a special book I have, the Hanged Man is representing a very unique aspect of this astrological chart. On the most basic level, the Hanged Man represents the transformation of consciousness and the descent of light into the world, meaning the descent of light to each of us, and then our capacity to give light to others. So it represents the release of limiting beliefs and perceptions about reality so that we can expand into a larger understanding of what's possible. And interestingly, on the higher level, this card also represents the release of old symbols and old archetypes and old belief systems that limit our perception of reality. And that is an aspect that's specifically represented in this new moon astrology chart. So I was excited to see that affirmation, synchronicity. And I was guided today to actually draw an additional card. And the synchronicity of this card is that this is the card I consulted intuitively when I drew the spread. I often see a card emerge or feel a card emerge as what I call the significator. And today I didn't choose a significator or a consultant, but I did intuitively ask if there was a special teacher in the deck who would facilitate the spread, and the Princess of Discs emerged from the deck just in my mind. And I wasn't surprised then to see the Ace of Discs, which is associated with her. She gives birth to the ace. And so the Princess of Discs is a final huge affirmation that we are in the beginning of a new cycle of life. She's a teacher and helper to us all that brings us the confidence and strength and trust that what is gestating, the painting is of a pregnant maiden, that what is gestating within will come to form, will be grounded and embodied in the world, and will bring inspiration to all. So this is a really beautiful spread for spring equinox and the Aries new moon. And I'll just show you after the gift of the princess. I'll return here for just a moment to this beautiful painting of the Ace of Cups, the gift of abundant love and the blessing of love, and our ability to experience the beauty and the beauty and pleasure of emotional abundance. So with that message today, I wish you each a release of any stresses and fatigue that you've experienced in the last couple of weeks as part of the birth pangs of the new year, and a really blessed new moon and a blessed series of days to come as we step fully and energetically into the vitality of new life and the spring. This is Elizabeth Shermer with an intuitive reading for the grids of light.